going to be talking about setting boundaries, balancing the globe and the grind, the secrets to creating boundaries without sacrificing success.
I like that
as a travel agent. Let's have a little moment of truth, shall we? Everyone, if you go ahead and share in the comments if you struggle with boundaries when it comes to your business. It is a normal thing, so we're not going to beat ourselves up over that, right? But I just want us to take a step back and look at our businesses and ourselves and our lives a little differently today so that we can start creating those boundaries. You know, I have been in the business here, the travel business, running a home-based travel business since 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, I worked from home as a like a business development manager for Avon Corporation. So I have been working from home for a really, really long time. And in doing that, I've had to create some successful habits, routines, etc. And boundaries was one of the things that I definitely needed to learn. I want to show you how to set boundaries like a pro. And again, this doesn't mean that you're suddenly just off the grid and you're not responding to your clients and you're not giving good customer service and all the things that we think are going to happen when we start setting boundaries, right? We're going to do something a little bit differently in our businesses so that we can have the success we want and the peace and the joy that we want. Number one, in setting boundaries like a pro, is to understand that you are in control of your calendar and your business. Somebody needs to write this down for sure. Okay. I am in control of my calendar. I'm in control of my business. Somebody here needed to be reminded today that you are in charge. Yes. And it's up to you to take charge.
Yes.
Sometimes we allow all these things to come at us and come at us and come at us, and then we feel out of control. Then we feel all this weight and this overwhelm and this stress. But the reality is we need to take a step back and realize, listen, I'm in charge here. I am still in control here, right? I'm in charge and I'm going to take charge.
In the morning, every day before you start your day, you know, do your devotions, pray, or however you spend time with God, or however you spend your morning. And then, all right, before you turn on your computer, you could say, I'm in charge and I'm going to take charge.
That's right. So the second thing in setting boundaries like a pro is to create your business and your day around you and around your life. We tend to create our business and our day around our business and our clients and our client needs instead of around ourselves and our life. We do not want to let our business to determine our day and how our time is spent. Like Lou said, there are going to be times. We're in an industry, there are going to be times when there are emergencies, right? But this is not an everyday thing. You should not be having an emergency every day. You should not be having a fire to put out every single day. If you are, then you need to look at some other systems and processes possibly and some other things that are going wrong. And then also assess, are these really emergencies or fires, or am I feeling like they are?
That's a good point.
We have to understand what we want. I think this goes back to our why. I'm not going to dig deep here, but we have to know what it is that we want in our business and in our life. And we need to value that, and we need to value what matters to us so that everything else is going to fall into place around those things, not vice versa. The other thing that goes into setting boundaries, which we kind of touched on already, is learning to respond to inquiries and requests, not react to them. Who is guilty of this? Who is guilty of this, right?
I can be guilty of this.
Responding, you need to learn how to respond to inquiries and requests and not react to them. We're like, I gotta drop everything. Oh my gosh, I just got this and then we're just off to the races and we're reacting like this is like, right now I have to handle this right now. And there are times when you really do have to, act that way. But it's not generally going to be the case.
And I would say one way that has helped Tami and I a lot with this is we used to be, when the phone would ring or we get a request in from Wedding Wire or whatever, we used to drop everything and either try to answer it or talk to the person on the phone. And now what we do, if we get a lead in through Wedding Wire or whatever, we will just say, hey, we have a process. Here's our link. If you would like to schedule a consultation, we work by consultation only. Same thing if someone calls us on the phone, we might make some conversation for a few minutes to make the person feel welcome. And then, hey, by the way, I am currently working with other clients, trying to give them the best that I can, make the best trip or wedding available to them. So I work by consultation only, where I can set aside the time. So you can create a response, keep it on a card by you if you don't, until you memorize it for the phone. Have it in an email template, use it all the time when you get requests, or even problems or something that you need to handle that come in that are not urgent, that you can respond to let them know they've been heard.
That leads perfectly, Lou, into embracing the art of the auto reply.
Right. You guys, I'm not even looking at Tammy's notes. We just know how to do this.
I am not a fan of a constant auto reply. Okay. Please do not always have an auto reply on your inbox, unless if you're in like a real true customer service type of business, right?
Sure.
Like we are a customer service business, but your auto reply, oftentimes, you don't want your clients don't want to always think that you're out of office all the time, right? There are seasons like they're like, this is a busy time. If like I'm in a situation where I know I'm going to have this influx of inquiries, I have an auto reply on, and I let them know, like, this is a situation due to, we see this happen all the time, due to the magnitude of inquiries that are coming in right now, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives them some things that they can do, or, what they can expect from you. But like Lou just said, really what your clients need to know is when they can expect to hear from you. If you have an auto reply, great. If you have an inquiry, you get hired by somebody. When I onboard a client, when I get started working with them, I let them know after I receive their invoice and their signed contract, the first email that I send them is these are the next steps, and this is when you can expect to hear from me. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm going to drop everything. Oh, they finally signed their contract and said that I got to drop everything today and get started. No, I'm going to respond to them and let them know I received it. Thank you. I look forward to working with you. Here's what you can expect from me. Here's the next steps. And here's when you'll hear from me with this initial information, right? So I'm just following a process. I'm just putting in some extra communication, because we think that our clients are expecting us to be available 24/7, and they are not. They are just expecting us to communicate with them when they can expect to hear from us. And, and then of course see that we follow through with that. So the next idea that I had for you is to delegate like you're royalty. Because you're right. You're the king, you're the queen of your biz, right? So you are royalty. You need to delegate. Now, I understand not everybody's at a place where they can delegate yet, right? They're brand new or whatever, and they're not in a situation where they've got somebody, on their team who they can delegate to things to, or they don't have a VA yet or whatever. And that's fine. So I have a few ideas for you, for those of you who are not delegating, to be prepared as if you will be delegating soon. So idea number 1, create recordings of what you do and how you do it. Create a Google folder of email templates, things that you are always responding to, all of the onboarding stuff, all of the, when an inquiry comes in, the email that you send with a link to your calendar. Create all of those email templates, put them in a Google Drive, because someday you're going to need to delegate somebody to do that for you. Okay? Design an onboarding manual. All right. So you have a process of what happens when you onboard a client. Design this onboarding manual. Put this all together. Put this all in a Google folder. However it is that you're going to organize yourself, but things that that you can duplicate and that other people can do for you. Always be thinking like this: what can somebody else do for me? Right. And so when you're creating an invoice, whatever, if you use, Vacation CRM or whatever it is, you take the extra 5 minutes to do it slower and say why you're doing what you're doing. And you record it. You're still getting the work done that you needed to do anyway. You're just going to do it a little bit slower, and you're going to record what it is that you're doing and put it in a folder so that it becomes a training for somebody who you will be eventually hiring. The other idea, learn to say no politely. This is that whole concept of staying in your lane. If somebody comes to you and wants to do something that they're like talking about a place you never even heard of before.
Right.
You probably should say, I'm not the person for the job. All right. People appreciate that. So don't be afraid to say, I'm not the person for the job. I can help find somebody who is. All right. That's another way of setting boundaries. Another way is we have to remember that working smarter doesn't always mean working harder, all of those things. And it also doesn't mean working 24/7. So working harder isn't the same as working smarter.
You guys, this is something that I am working on. And one thing that I realize the way my mind works is that I like to work on a topic. It's hard for me to end a topic unless it's done. Like, I don't know if any of you are like that, but if I have a project I'm working on, it's hard for me to stop working on it until I'm done. Well, one thing that I realized is that I think that I can be more productive. I was just telling Tammy, I need to start batching my days. So like Mondays are going to be a lot of where I handle the customer inbox, and Tuesdays can be a little bit more heavy with our 20K students because we have our laser coaching on Tuesdays.
You've got to do what works well with your brain and how you operate. Okay. So recognize that and be okay to, again, like I said at the very beginning, this is your schedule. This is your calendar. This is your business. You're going to operate it the way that you want to operate it. Okay. If you are doing everything in your business, you're not the owner. You're simply self-employed. And there is a difference. Okay. That's why I wanted to come on here and talk to you today about boundaries.
That's a good quote.
If you're doing everything in your business, you're not the owner. You're simply self-employed. There is a difference. Here's the difference. An owner works on their business.
Sure.
Not just in their business.
Yeah.
A self-employed person only works in their business and thus focuses on everything as if they are the only person who can do it. If we want our businesses to outlive us, then they need to be able to live without us. Think about your business from everything that you're doing when it comes to setting up your processes, when it comes to setting up your boundaries for yourself, everything that you're doing in your business. If you want it to be something that is going to outlive you and you are creating a legacy and something that's going to live on, then you need to be able to step outside of it and it's still going to operate without you. Something that I do to help me work on my business is what I call a power hour. A power hour is when I get up early in the morning before anyone else is up, before I would ever expect anyone to need me in any way in the world, whether it be my family or, a client or whatever. So well before 8 a.m., I work on my business on it for an hour without interruption, where I'm thinking, I'm using time to think. All right, have a great week and set those boundaries.
Sounds good. We'll see you next week.
See ya.